And my name is Natalie Rhodes. I am the Marketing Communications Manager for the College of Arts and Sciences here at Lamar University. Today, we're having a major discussion of two of our programs in Arts and Sciences, which is the Department of Physics and the Department of Computer Science. So our goal for today is to answer your questions as they relate to being a physics or computer science student. Our guests today, we actually have a few, are Dr. Cole. He is the chair of physics. We have Dr. Bahrim here. He's a professor of physics. And we also have Dr. Sen here, who is an assistant professor of physics. And then we'll also have Dr. Andre, who is the chair of the computer science department. So also joining us today is Becca Wells. She is one of the admissions counselors here at Lamar and will be answering any admission questions that you have. Just to let you know, your video is turned off and your mics are muted to ensure your privacy. And we're also recording this session and posting on our website. The recording will be closed captioned for you to come back and view again, or if you have other friends or family that want to learn more about our physics and computer science programs, they're more than welcome to watch later. Also wanted to let you know that you can ask your questions using the chat function in the bottom of your screen. Some of those questions will be answered in the chat, and some of them will be answered either by me or our chairs and professors, but we'll do our best to make sure all of your questions are answered. So I will go ahead and get everything started and send it over to you, Dr. Cole.
Okay, could you put up the slides that I had prepared?
I can. Give me just a moment.
And so as we do this, there's two other people from the physics department, Christian Bahrim and Cengiz Shen. And so I would ask them to introduce themselves first before I start. So Christian, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Cole. So yes, I'm Christian Bahrim. I am professor of physics at Lamar University. I've been in the physics program here at Lamar since 2001. And I'm also the acting director of the Office of Undergraduate Research.
And Dr. Shen?
You are muted. He's muted.
Okay.
All right, fixed now. I am Dr. Cengiz Shen, and I'm an assistant professor here in the physics department since 2018. I am a computational condensed matter physicist, and as such, I get to play with the fastest supercomputers in the world.
Great.
Okay.
All right, let me share my screen, Dr. Cole. And just let me know when you're ready for me to move on to the next slide.
Okay, can they see the entire screen as is? Because I see, okay, so I see you and Leela doing this at the same time, so I don't.
Yeah, that's okay. Everyone else can see the full screen and they might have a few pictures on the side.
Okay, because I can't. Anyway, okay, first of all, my name is Philip Cole. I'm the chair of the physics department. I'm an experimental nuclear physicist. I've been chair of the physics department since September 1st, 2017, and became chair 2 days after Harvey hit. Okay, and so I'm open to any questions during this presentation. I'm to talk about, our number of majors and things like that, but I thought I'd show a bit. So if we could go, here's from our flyer, and here's a picture of a student who did very well. And here, I start. So can I go to the next slide, please?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is the physics building, and you can see, and again, I can't really see the entire screen for some odd reason. Is something strange here, or?
I have the full screen up on mine.
I got it. It's okay. So this is the physics building, and this is from the quad. And I don't know if all of you are on campus or not, but I just wanted you to see this. And then if we can go to the next picture. Okay, so the important thing is physics is a science of why things work. And I'm just going to read this out loud. And so the typical undergraduate physics student is working towards an engineering, mathematics, or a computer science degree. So we have a lot of dual degrees, and we have on the order of 40 majors. Now that may not seem like a lot, but that's quite a bit for physics. And we graduated this year on the order of 1 out of every students that are graduating with a degree in physics in Texas are from Lamar. Okay, so that's a pretty big thing. And we graduate Bachelor of Science degrees, and we have many dual degrees, as you can see on the side. And so they choose to major in physics and another field such as engineering or mathematics. Now, what can you do with an undergraduate degree in physics? Well, you can go on and become a graduate student and conduct scientific research at a university. You can do astronomy. Business, we have somebody who actually has graduated from Lamar with a BS degree. That's Anthony George, and he basically did remarkably well, okay, and is doing very well financially. You can go to medical school, energy sector, and that's nuclear energy, oil and gas, such, finance, radiation oncology, that means that you can work with accelerators. You can become a teacher, that's a very fine profession. The military, engineering, law, for example, you can become a patent lawyer, and they are paid quite well, and a weatherman or a woman. So these are some of the options that are open to you with a physics degree. Can we go to the next slide, please? Now, a bachelor degree in physics is, we have several different fields, but if you go into, so let's say you're an engineer and you take university physics, which is calculus based. You take your first two sequence, which is University Physics 1 and University Physics 2. University Physics 1 is mechanics, and University Physics 2 is electricity and magnetism. Then you take modern physics and you study the two big ideas of the 20th century, which is special relativity, for example, and quantum mechanics. And then you have advanced courses such as quantum mechanics, which you need to take, optics and photonics, solid state, more analytical mechanics and electricity and magnetism, and the mathematics behind all this, so mathematical methods. And then if you just decide to go into pre-med or chemistry, we have an option for college physics, which is algebra based and very rigorous. And then if you want to do general education, we have elementary physics, which is quite fun. And it's quite popular with music majors and the people in business. And we have elective courses in Astronomy 1 and Astronomy 2. Let's go to the next one. So if you're a graduate student and you just get a master's, or let's just say a bachelor's degree, if you go into a STEM field, that's science, technology, engineering, and math, you can expect to start with $45,000 to $75,000 per year, which is pretty reasonable. Non-STEM, we're looking at $30,000 to $62,000 per year. And in higher education, on the order of $30,000 to $40,000 per year, and then government and civilian, and I can't read that script right there, it's a little bit low, so I don't know what that number says.
It says 38,000 to 62,000.
Okay, my screen is, maybe I should, but anyway, let's go to the next slide, please. Okay, for some reason I don't see anything.
Yeah, something happened on my end. Sorry, I'm trying to get back to it.
Okay, so anyway, of course, if you have any questions at this point, I'd be more than happy to answer any of them.
Dr. Cole, I had a quick question while I try to get that back up. Do you find that students ever double major? I know physics, a lot of engineering students will take physics courses. I didn't know if any typically ever double majored in physics and something else.
That's our key thing. Most people basically, they don't come to school and think they want to be a physics major. But once they take University Physics 1 and University Physics 2, then they decide, oh my, this is a wonderful field. And then they double major or take a dual degree. And so most of our majors actually started off as engineers. And a physics degree, I should say, people think of, you go into engineering and such, but physics basically is the fundamental of all sciences, the most fundamental science. And so if you're a physicist, you can almost do anything in terms of engineering. I mean, it's very common for a physicist to go into engineering if you have that background. Okay, so I see this again. Okay, so right here we say the initial employment, and I just broke this down, and we see that the initial employment here is 38% engineering. So like I was just saying, is that if you get a degree in physics, you can go work as an engineer.
Mhm.
Computer information systems, 26%. Other STEM fields, 12%, and non-STEM, 21%. So 80% of people go into a STEM field, which is reasonably well paid. And they get hired regionally, nationally, and internationally. And also, they can basically, 40% go into graduate school and 20% go into teaching, okay? And then we have two logos here, as you can see. We have the Society of Physics students, which I'll talk about in a bit, and then the logo for, so this is the bottom part of the screen. So let's go to the next one, please. Okay, so the Society of Physics students is, and this is the advisor is Christian. And Christian, would you like to say a few words about the Society of Physics students, please?
Yes, it's the forum where all undergrad physics students across the nation gather. The headquarters is in Washington, D.C. It's part of the American Institute of Physics, has national recognition in all major physics events. Society of Physics students holds breakout sessions and poster sessions that come along with awards and recognition for the outstanding paper presentations. It's also a platform that helps chapters such as ourselves to get sponsored, to receive, like Dr. Cole wrote in this slide, awards for induction of students in the outstanding honors branch of the Society of Physics students, as well as evaluates our efforts in outreach component and research component that made us to be one of the top chapters in the nation with 5 outstanding chapter awards, the highest recognition in the last 6 years. So this would be my brief introduction. I can talk more about if you want me. Thank you.
Yes, and the Society of Physics students is well recognized, and it's a very healthy organization, and also it's a place where a bunch of people, undergraduates, meet and do fun things. We do demonstrations, you know, physics demonstrations, and hang out. So the Society of Physics students is a very living and vibrant society. Let's go to the next slide, please. And so I wanted to say a few words. This is Kip Thorne. He won the Nobel Prize in Physics in 2017, and we were able to bring him to Lamar within 1 year of him winning the Nobel Prize. And so he did it on gravitational waves, which was at LIGO, and that's a laboratory that's at the Laser Interferometry Gravitational Wave Observatory. One is in Livingston, Louisiana, and the other one, it's paired with another one that's in Hanford, Washington. And basically they saw the remnants of 2 black holes about 30 times the size of the sun, each one. And as they went near the speed of light, they collapsed into one another. And then in the briefest instant of time, 3 solar masses, that's 3 times the mass of the sun, went into pure energy and basically distorted the space-time fabric of the entire universe. And it was a big thing. This happened about 1.2 billion years ago. We measured it in September 16th, published in February 2017, and in November, this gentleman won the Nobel Prize, and Kip Thorne, and he came to visit us and gave a very nice talk, and it was very wonderful. So Lamar does attract, you know, interesting people to give talks like at academic lecture series. So that was wonderful, and he also spoke at length with the students. Let's see the next slide, please. So sitting there is at the reception, and the front row is some flanking Kip Thorne are 2 professors, the chair of Earth and Space Sciences and the chair of Physics. In the back, we have several physics majors, you can see. And so what I'd like to say is, please contact us. We're the Department of Physics. We're very strongly supportive of the Society of Physics students. And you can reach us at the number that you can see there. And you would really enjoy, I think, that if you like science and you want the most fundamental of sciences and you want to basically have a great career with a strong background in the physical sciences, we are go-to department, and we are a regional university, and we focus on undergraduate research. So that's all I have to say at this moment.
It looks like we've had a couple of questions come in, if I could go ahead and ask them. And I'm going to ask it to Dr. Cole, Dr. Bahrim, and Dr. Shen. What do you think your favorite classes are that you teach?
Well, I don't teach them all. I teach mathematical methods and modern physics. And so modern physics, I'm going to speak for myself. Modern physics is wonderful because that basically is a break from the past. That's basically what we understand in terms of computers, what we understand in terms of how GPS works and all this. Everything happened in the 20th century. And that happened starting around 1910. 1915, just the very beginning, but it wasn't really well established until 1950, 60 or so, and we're still learning a lot. So physics, and then one of the predictions that Einstein made with gravitational waves, he made that in 1918, and it took 100 years before it could be proven, okay? So that's fun, modern physics and mathematical methods, because that's, it just tells us the language. Physics is taught in the language of mathematics. So I like to teach people how to actually read and write physics in the language that is meant to be written in. But I have other courses, but I was asked my two favorite. And so I'm going to turn the platform over to Dr. Shen and Dr. Bahrim.
I can say that my favorite class that I teach right now, you know, even though it wasn't my favorite when I was an undergrad, is statistical physics. And I also, you know, I happen to, you know, like it even more after I started teaching it. Statistical physics basically is, you know, it explains pretty much 90% of the phenomena that we see around us. So you wouldn't get to see this when you take introductory physics courses, where you take a look at the physics of just one object, for example, how it moves, you know, what kind of forces are acting on it and what's the resulting acceleration because of that. But when you get to investigate the physics of many particles, as we say it, right, you get to do some statistics on it. So that allows you to understand, you know, pretty much everything we see around us is more than one particle, right? So statistical physics allows us to explain many phenomena that we see around us. Basically, let me give you an example on that. We get to understand, for example, the temperature variation in the atmosphere. We get to understand the pressure variation in the atmosphere, and a lot of the other ways that the materials, gases, solids, and liquids behave.
Yes, and I'm Christian Bahrim. So for me, I taught different courses in time. Modern physics was certainly one of my top courses that I always enjoy teaching, because it moves you throughout the classical physics into a new realm. And one of the, say, seeds that generated the new science and the modern technology was optics, which is my second course that I'm teaching, and I love it very much. I'm just thinking the way I was taught optics back in 1980s when I was in college as compared to what I'm doing now, it's way different. Maybe I deliver somewhere around 1-2% than what I was taught in, you know, at my time when I was in college. It's such an avant-garde type topic with a lot of progress done throughout centuries. In fact, is where everything started. In many ways, the first law of science is the law of reflection, which is one of the major laws of physics in optics. And optics, it's also an inspiring field for many other fields. The light travels the path of least time. That inspires that the electron travel the path of least resistance. To give you an example where, if you want, basic science merges with engineering as an applied science area. And also, like we talk about Kip Thorne, the instrument that he conceived, he proposed and helped to build up, has been inspired by an optics experiment run by Michelson more than a century ago, and he's the first American Nobel laureate based on his achievement in using what is called Michelson interferometer. Basically, the new age of high tech sits on the backbone of optics and photonics. We use lasers, we use light sources, we learn about astronomical observations through what we call spectroscopy or emission of light by atoms and molecules. It's very exciting that you can know such a great deal of what is out there, even in deep space and in remote locations in our universe, without leaving the planet Earth, and that's essentially by using optical means. It's also exciting that, as we all try to do in physics, we combine the theoretical grounds with hands-on experience. Optics has an experimental component, and this is very exciting because you can see at work the models and phenomena that you discuss in theory. So that's why the excitement I always get when I'm visiting as an instructor the optics course.
Can I say one thing? The LIGO interferometer, so that's a laser interferometer, which Dr. Bahrim was talking about, gravitational wave observatory. That invention is as important as a telescope. It truly allows us, now we can hear what happens. Before we could only see, but now we can hear what happens in the universe. And with this, we can basically probe back to the very beginning of time. It truly is the biggest revolutionary device in the past 400 years. I can't underestimate how important that is, and it's going to revolutionize. So if you're a young person right now, you're living in just a wonderful time when there's going to be applications of this device. Like, just think you're living in 1610 and they show you the telescope and say, what does a telescope do? Well, you could see the enemy ship from, before they see you. That's kind of one application. But you can also look at the moons, you can look at the stars, you can do all this. Now we can hear the stars as they collapse. So it's a revolutionary device. Okay, we answered that one question rather long. Are there any other questions?
There is. I had a question about some of the different undergraduate research opportunities that there are within the Department of Physics.
I'm going to turn this over to Dr. Bahrim, because he is actually the acting director of undergraduate research. And so he really knows all the details.
Perfect. Glad we have you then, Dr. Bahrim.
I appreciate the opportunity. Yes, I can say that throughout the years, physics proved to be a flagship in undergrad research. All our faculty members are involved in undergrad research. And that has been recognized not only with that outstanding chapter award, which takes out the undergrad research and put it on the plate and shows how valuable that research is, but it's also through representing Lamar in Washington, DC. Every single time a project was accepted in Washington, whether it was from biology, was with a physics student, or directly physics, including this year we had an engineering student, in fact, who did a physics project that really shows exactly, like Dr. Cole said, the organic emulation in between fundamental science, physics in particular, and applications and engineering. So doing physics, you can really stand out because you have that knowledge to understand the mechanism, to understand how things work, and eventually produce new technology. The two, or the three of us, in fact, but Dr. Cole as well as Dr. Shen are actively engaged in undergrad research, and they mentor vividly and constantly every year several students that were very successful, to the point they went in other places and then presented their findings, receive awards in our undergrad research events that we sponsor, our Office of Undergrad Research sponsors. And that's the proof of value, because all these participation were competitive. And our students stood out. Our students made us to be proud to be part of Lamar and feel us as mentors, fulfill, if you want. We really managed to reach our mission, if you want. So undergrad means projects that are sponsored and students get paid. That's very important to know. You can get paid as you research on a topic of your own interest, or you join the interest of a research group, such as Dr. Cole has collaboration with Jefferson Lab. He can talk more on behalf of that, and Dr. Shen with Oak Ridge National Laboratory. You can really stand out being connected with high recognized and world-recognized labs, participate to outstanding conferences where very few are accepted, and be proud to be part of our program. Also, I want to mention that Office of Undergraduate Research sponsors travel to conferences, to events where students learn from others, from their peers or from experts, different things about physics or other disciplines. This undergraduate research office has a broad impact, and we strongly encourage through our mission cross-disciplinary research programs. If I can talk on our physics department behalf, but also to honor Dr. Cole, he led a group who received the best senior design project in a cross-disciplinary area of engineering, mechanical, electrical, as well as geology and physics, in fact. And then this is to his merit. And I had the chance to review, in fact, all these applications, including the senior design project. We are very active in very many ways. It would take me more than an hour just to list the opportunities our students have if they join physics program. Thank you.
Can I just say one small thing? I actually went to Washington, D.C. with one of my students. We met with a congressman in person to talk about the wonders of science and physics. And so that was with Representative Weber. And so he met with us for about 20 minutes. And that doesn't happen too often. And so, you know, that was really wonderful too. We went there to talk about nuclear physics and the importance of funding it. And a student came with me, and he was more interested in talking to the student. And that was great. That was great. We have pictures of this. And so anyway, these are some of the opportunities we have. Any other questions?
We don't have any that have come through right now. I do want to say, though, how great it is that Lamar University offers so many opportunities for undergraduate research and for things to be able to go work with larger corporations, and that your faculty the faculty at Lamar University are there to help you succeed and want to see you prepared for life outside of college. And that's exactly what the physics department does at Lamar University. So I just wanted to thank Dr. Shen, Dr. Cole, and Dr. Bahrim for being here today. I'm going to let you guys go so you don't have to sit through me talking about computer science, but I'll share your contact information, and I'll also share mine. So if anybody has any more questions, I can send them your way.
Okay, well, thank you so much. And if anybody has any questions and this is also being recorded, certainly feel free to contact me. I'm Dr. Philip Cole. I'm the chair of the physics department, and you can talk to Dr. Christian Bahrim and Cengiz Shen, Dr. Shen. So we're all very interested in speaking with you, and if you want to learn more about physics, come see us.
Great, thank you all.
Thank you for the opportunity to join you. Thank you.
Okay, everyone go ahead and stay on. Besides those with physics, we're gonna have our computer science discussion now. Unfortunately, our chair, Dr. Stefan Andre, isn't going to be joining us this afternoon, but you've got me. And I'm gonna show you a program brochure that we have for computer science, and also a little bit about the program itself. If you have any questions at the end, of course, I will share my contact information and can get any questions that you may have to Dr. Andre about computer science that I may not be able to answer for you. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and let you see. So the first photo I have up is Dr. Tim Roden. He's one of our professors in the computer science program, and he's also associate dean too. But something cool about this photo is that it's done in our game development laboratory. So we actually have a computer game development degree here at Lamar University, and it's fairly new, but it's one of my favorites because they've really gotten involved in esports, and those of you who are knowledgeable in computer science can definitely talk about esports and how great it is. And the teams that we have at Lamar, all of the money that they end up winning at these competitions are just being put back into scholarships, and it's just really neat. So Dr. Roden is actually showing a graduate student a game that he designed, and it was a butterfly. It was really neat. You had to land it on a certain spot on a tree. Unfortunately, it doesn't photograph that well. But I'll scroll down and let you know a little bit about the future involving computer science. It involves every aspect of human endeavors. I think the coolest thing for me is that I found out we have a 3D printer, and we've actually started printing some masks on campus to try to help the front lines and all the healthcare workers and everything to have enough I don't know the right word, like coverage for them whenever they're working with ill people. The department itself emphasizes on areas of computer programming, data structures, information systems, engineering, and computer science and computer architecture. Over to the right of the screen, it shows all of the different programs within the Department of Computer Science. So we do have a bachelor's degree in computer science, computer information sciences, cybersecurity, which is a huge thing right now, and then, like I said, computer game development. We also do have a graduate program, which is a master's degree in computer science. So our Department of Computer Science is held in the Mays building. On the second floor is the computer science department, and this includes all kinds of computer labs, and you name it, they have it, PC stations, Sun workstations. I know they've been developing some robots. They have Dell Alienware for game development and more. A really great thing about our computer science department is that we are ABET accredited. We do have small classroom sizes with great student to faculty ratio. So your classrooms are going to be anywhere from 10 to 19 students once you're in your department, which typically happens your junior and senior year. And then I also am scrolling down a little bit to show you the different the different careers that you can have with a bachelor's degree in computer science. So of course, computer systems, database administrator, software developer, IT manager. If you're wanting to be in education, you can absolutely do that too. And there's also a lot of scholarship opportunities within the within the College of Arts and Sciences, but within the Department of Computer Science. So over at the bottom, this is a student, Madison, and I don't remember the other girl's name, but they're both computer science students. It's not heavily, there's not a lot of women in computer science. So whenever we have some, we like to photograph them because that's so exciting. And then over to the right is the contact information for computer science. I will also show you some pictures of our game development laboratory, which is in the Mays building. So this is where they're creating software and computer games within the Mays building. And I believe they're all working on Android operating systems. But as you can see, they're doing some designing. The bottom left looks like a guy you'd play in a video game. And these are just some of the courses that you will take as a computer science student. So there's 3D animation for computer graphics, modeling for computer graphics. I'm not super well versed in computer science, but I do know that it's a huge program at Lamar University, and the students that graduate from it are successful. So do you have any questions for me? If you do, let me know. I'm really sorry that Dr. Andre couldn't be here today. What I'll go ahead and do is show you my contact information. So if you have any questions for Dr. Andre or anything like that, you can send them my way. My contact is natalie.rhodes@lamar.edu. If for some reason you can't remember that, artsandSciences@lamar.edu. You can send any questions my way, and I'll make sure that I give them to the correct person. Dr. Andre would be happy to answer any questions that you have. I wanted to also let you know to continue checking lamar.edu/visit for more information on what's to come. That's where you'll find all of the upcoming events, upcoming webinars like this one, to keep you in the loop and let you know what Lamar University is all about. And then lastly, the Find Your Admission Counselor link is at the bottom. These individuals are going to be very helpful to you when it comes time to submitting your application all the way to signing up for your courses. So make sure that you find your admission counselor for the region that you're in. I think I have a question come through. How can one be accepted into computer science? What do we need for us to be accepted? I know for the computer science department, you don't have to apply straight to the program itself. You just need to apply to the university and you choose computer science as your major, but I will let Becca answer those questions. Becca, would you like me to repeat that?
No, I got it. I'm just going to turn on my camera really quick.
Good.
I'm just going to kind of cover this. So like Natalie said, you don't have to meet separate requirements. As long as you meet the university requirements, you meet the computer science department requirements. You can find those requirements on our website at lamar.edu /becoming a cardinal. So you can go there and see, it depends on your class ranking, unless you are currently a senior and graduating. We are actually doing test optional right now in light of the coronavirus. We have not gotten any confirmation on if that's going to continue in the future. But we do have all of our requirements on our website, so you can see based on your class ranking right now, what scores you would need, or if, like I said, if you're a senior, what you would need to turn in. That's all on our website, so it's super easy to find. You can just turn that in and you are accepted to the program.
Awesome, thanks Becca. Hopefully that answered your question. I also got another question that said, would we need to buy a new computer? As a computer science student, you're not required to have your own computer. Everything that you would need is on our campus. So if you're wanting to be a student on campus, of course, you would have access to everything there. Now, in the situation that we're in right now with COVID-19, classes are all online. So you would at that point need to have access to some kind of computer. But again, I'm hoping things go back to normal before too long and we're all on campus and our classes are good to go. I see another question come through. Is there an opportunity? Oh, Dr. Andre jumped on. Hi, Dr. Andre.
How are you? Good afternoon. I
I'm so
understood
glad you're here.
2:30, correct?
Hey, you can go ahead and start. We're all here ready.
Official website is ces.lamar.edu. So basically, you need to remember just two letters, CES, computer science. And then I'm looking for, so about the enrollment, we had 328 undergraduate students and 89 graduate students. So these are the data I have. And we offer 4 undergraduate degrees and 1 master degree. So the main Bachelor in Computer Science is ABET accredited. And then we have in parallel Computer Information Science, which is having an emphasis on accounting, economics, and other useful thing in order to pursue a PhD or to open a business. MBA, I'm sorry, MBA I wanted to say. And then we have cybersecurity program. So that's the third one, which is rather recent. We only have 2 students in the program because we started last year. But in game development program, we've been more aggressive, and we started 6 years ago, 7 actually, and we have 14 or even 15 students in that program. And so we have these 4 programs. We offer courses in data analytics and computation, which gives us the possibility for working in in industry specified for businesses and other important areas that the students will be successful, I'm sure. So data mining, big data, cloud computing, all the goodies, languages between cars, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and all those very, very important topics in computer science. And right, typical jobs. So if you go to usjobs.com, top 100, usually we have like 12 categories of jobs. So perhaps the most important one is software developer. So if you have time, you can Google now. Usually we are first, second, or third in this category in competition with dentists. Well, everyone has teeth, and nurses sometimes they are overpassing us. So, but the computer science degree gives you all these 12 choices: program analyst, programmer, I said software developer, software analyst, software manager. So we are talking now 6 figures plus if you reach software manager. And it's a very important topic, and that's why our faculty has to stay abreast in each recent topics that are coming. Like for example, cybersecurity is rather recent. We start teaching it 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. Then 3D printing. This is another topic which has some attention, especially now that we stay home. One of my technicians actually printed like 10 such face masks, but I told her the problem is not the plastic. You can wash it with alcohol and keep it clean, but the problem is the filter. So you either go and, I don't know, get like a coffee filter and you cut the rectangle, and you know, you have to be innovative. Now, since this is in-house, we cannot distribute to students. We are not allowed basically to take this big responsibility. But in terms of prototype, and if you have a great idea, I think our department can help you, you know, thrive and believe in you. What did I do? Okay, your message disappeared. All right. So there was another question. The faculty. The faculty are very well prepared. We have a number of 12 faculty. We used to have 13, but Dr. Ko retired in January this year. And okay, so I'm looking for your email.
Dr. Andre, I had a question for you while you're looking. What is your area of expertise or your interest in computer science?
Software engineering, real-time embedded systems, algorithms, programming, basically everything starting from theoretical computer science to this kind of applications. So my goal is actually to write a course of 3D printing in collaboration with our technician. So I'm interested in basically everything that is recent and, you know, very important in CS. Yeah.
That's neat.
Okay, so yes, please.
Well, I was going to ask, before you jumped on, I was mentioning that we had esports on campus and that they've been going to competitions and winning money. Can you kind of touch on that and give some information on esports?
Yes. So the advisor for that program is actually Dr. Roden, and we have 2 such esports. One, we used to have it since like 5 years ago, and it was kind of modest, not so aggressive. But since last November, we have this more emphasis specifically of esports targeting these competitions between universities. And you're right, in February this year, 2 of our students of our department got $1,250 each. So they brought for themselves scholarships, which makes me feel, hey, even if initially you say you just play games, but you can actually get scholarship, which is awesome. So once the students find out that result, guess what? That lab 208 in Mayor's building is booming now. I mean, not now. Now we stay home, but in February, March, middle of March, right before we've been called to stay home. I mean, that lab was full of students. You barely can find a seat to sit and play. Plus, two of my students actually, I had a class, they asked me, Dr. Andre, come and teach 3302 online because we want to ask you questions in a face-to-face setting. So my room was 212B, which is like next room from 208, and like a couple of them after 1 hour of theoretical computer science, they disappear without saying where. When I finished, like after 1 more hour, I saw them in Esports lab. I said, really? Is it the place you said you need to go? So anyway, they have fun, and I'm really happy they believe in game right now as just the players. But sooner or later, if they want to take game courses or to switch to game development program, they actually will learn how to design and implement such a game actually, and they can get more money. I mean, it can become their job. Yeah. Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. I'm having some good questions come in, but most of them are esports, or I guess one more is esports, and then it goes back to computer science. But do you happen to know what games off the top of your head they play in esports? I know I feel like I've seen Call of Duty, but I know there's other games too.
That is one. Then maybe I saw Civilization. Maybe I saw, most of them are based on tactics and attacks and guns. So I kind of don't agree with guns. There might be a little bit, we need to be careful. But if the student is just believing that's only a game, I'm okay with that. I think the best person to ask is Mr. Zachary Moistuler, and he's the student president of that association. And if you shoot him an email, they will let you know all the details about that, because he's the boss. He signed paperwork for those two students to be enrolled in that program for the scholarship. Yeah.
Zachary's done a lot for esports because he's designed some really awesome jerseys, and you guys have that lime green room. Last time I went by right before spring break, I mean, it was packed with students.
Yeah. Provost office gave him like 16 stations, which I don't want to say how much he paid. Then I only gave him some keyboards, fancy, true, and mouse pads, which they are larger and more adherent to the mouse and whatever. And I think they are supposed to receive another, I think, projector and another thing for, I forgot what. But because of the COVID, nothing came. So, I mean, we will wait. So little by little, I can help that student association as much as I can. Yes.
Dr. Andre, we had a question and it asked if there's an opportunity to get a computer science degree completely online for the bachelor's level.
So the first 2 years are both face-to-face and online because we have to offer it face-to-face due to accreditation. And then the upcoming semesters for junior and senior years, we have a rotational scheme. We cannot offer all courses, one section face-to-face, one online. But what we do is we offer this semester online, next semester face-to-face. And if a student, say, happens to be in supposedly face-to-face, but he cannot come to Lamar, especially now in this situation, our department will, and together with student, will contact the instructor and say, look, would you please treat him as an online student? And we move from there. Because now we can run, for example, I taught using, in this 1 month and a half, using Collaborate Ultra. embedded in Blackboard, which is an amazing tool. I'm really happy, and it creates the virtual setting of a real class, and the students can ask questions, can show face or not. Very rare they show faces. I don't know why. Maybe they are in pajama or something. But they can ask questions. They can type in the chat box, and I can reply. I can copy and paste from my notes, and those are recorded. They stay, and say some student cannot come at a specific time, like we had 4 to 6 p.m. Then they can click on the recording, and except they don't get stars, because I'm a star professor in the sense that I give stars for active participation in class. If they don't do anything in class, they don't get stars. So you have to speak in my class.
You want the stars.
For the stars, yes.
There's another question. This is the most questions I've had in any session yet, so.
Oh, okay, I feel proud.
What type of projects could a student expect from a game development or cybersecurity degree? Or I guess classes, what kind of projects might they be given?
Yeah. I can talk for cybersecurity because I'm currently the instructor of secure software engineering. And in that class, the main idea is we will present a list of 75 guidelines how to write code in order to minimize the penetration of a hacker for the software you implement. And then we do examples, positive example, negative example, and I will ask students to implement a project that will concentrate on one guideline. So basically, input is a Java program that is subject to be tested against the guideline that is proceeded by the hacker, and then change your program accordingly and provide another Java program equivalent with the one you had, but without the entry point for the hacker to penetrate your program. So that's the main idea of the secure software engineering. As for cybersecurity, I understood Dr. Shingyalu has a lot of interesting materials. He made a workshop like a couple of years ago for high schoolers, and it was amazing. It has a big impact, and they love it. I mean, very interactive. I told Dr. Shingyalu, look, it has to be interactive. So he made it very, very practical. And as for the game development, I assume they implement basically a portion of a game, if not the game. That looks like a question for Dr. Roden mainly, or a previous student from his classes, but I assume there is a portion of a project, yes.
I'll get in touch with Dr. Roden and see if he can give me any ideas, and I'll get in touch with this student that asked that. I do have an admissions question. I'm not sure if our admission counselor is still on. Becca, are you still here?
I am. My Wi-Fi cut out, but I'm back.
Awesome. So we had a question that said, when can we start applying to be accepted in class? They are a high school senior this year.
If you're a high school senior this year, you can go ahead and go to appliedtexas.org and send in an application to Lamar University, and then just select that you want to do computer science as your program. We have waived all application fees, so you do not have to submit an application fee with that. And then, like I said, we are test optional at the moment. So if you haven't taken the SAT or ACT, that's totally okay. Just submit your high school transcript, or if you have dual credit, if you have more than 18 credit hours or 6 classes in dual credit, then you can just submit your dual credit transcript. And these don't have to be official transcripts. There's a link on our website where you can submit unofficial transcripts, and we are accepting those. And if it's your high school transcript or your dual credit transcript, we can make admissions decision based off of that. Now, like I said, with the dual credit, it does need to be more than 18 hours in a 2.0 GPA. But that's it. That's all you would need to do. And all those steps are on our website, or you can contact your admissions counselor. I'm one. I can include my information in the chat. So you can send me emails, you can text me, call me, whatever you need if you need to get through that application process.
Awesome. Thanks, Becca. Dr. Andre, I don't think I have any more questions that have come through. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap it up?
Yes, in that list you sent me, you said to talk about background of faculty. So basically we cover every topic from computer science because our program is ABET accredited. We cannot miss any topic. So I invite our visitors, our potential candidates and future students to go to, again, cs.lamar.edu, click on contact us, and then you see the list of faculty with their topics of interest, research topics. And then another question I see here, typical first year class schedule and when a student to expect start taking major classes. Our CS1, which is Programming Fundamentals 1 in Java, doesn't have any prerequisites. Well, maybe Algebra 2, but I guess everyone has Algebra 2 passed. And about CS1, this credit hours is together with the lab, which is 1 credit hour, which is together with Think Speak Write, COSC 1172. So in the first semester, you take this 5 credit hour bundle, all 3 together. 1 3 credit hours, the other 2 1 credit hours. So that's the number of hours you meet per week with the instructor. And then another question, open the conversation for questions. Then I should say, do you have any questions?
I haven't had any more come through, but what I'll do is share my contact information when this is over. And then I'll also let them, if I get any emails, I will send them your way. If they're, computer science specific, I'll also get with Dr. Roden, who kind of oversees game design and game development to answer your question better about potential projects. Dr. Andre, thank you so much for joining today and teaching us about computer science. I know I learned a lot more than I knew already. Thank you, Becca, for being here and answering the admission questions. Thank you, Leela, our interpreter. Again, let me share my screen with my contact information. My name was Natalie Rhodes. You can contact me at natalie.rhodes@lamar.edu, or if you forget that, artsandsciences@lamar.edu. Continue to check lamar.edu/visit for more information on upcoming events and find your admission counselor. Like Becca said, you can visit lamar.edu/my admission counselor. Thank you guys for joining. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see y'all soon.
Thank you for your time.